So POIs, points of interest. Points of interest. Now, what do they mean? What do we mean by points of interest? Points of interest are, remember we talked about liquidity. So liquidity is a point of interest. So areas where you have on-field orders, right? So if I'm going to buy as a retail trader, my point of interest will be areas where there are already buy orders, a lot of them there, right? So that I can join that move to get price to the upside, right? If I want to sell, then I need to find a point of interest that has high, a lot of sell orders so that when price gets to that point, I can now follow that move to the downside. So that's why they are called points of interest, right? So how is that relevant? That is relevant for my relevant moves. So remember what relevant moves are. Relevant moves are moves that break structure. So I don't care about all moves. I only care about moves that are relevant. So if I have an example like this, so this move here, when it now completed, is a relevant move because it broke the structure. It's only at this point I start to ask myself, what is price doing? Price is going up. I want to be buying. So where will I be buying? I can't be buying here. I have to wait for price to come down to this area of discount. Remember that, right? Then when price comes to this area of discount, I want to find a point of interest around this area of discount. So the point of interest that has high probability of buy orders or high presence of buy liquidity, right? I want something that shows me that. And so that's what this point is about, right? So this point of interest here allows me to then say there is high probability of me buying from here, right? So how do I identify the points of interest on this relevant move? That's what the question is. So remember, there's a sequence in this understanding here. You go from candlestick to move, some moves to structures to trends, and then you start to ask yourself, what is the point? I need to understand the trend. The trend, okay, this is a bullish trend. That means I need to be thinking of buying. Or if I'm going to be buying, what moves do I need to buy from? I need to buy from relevant moves. But do I just buy because there's a relevant move? No, I buy because after the relevant move is formed, price then has to come down to a point of interest that has a high probability of having buy orders that allow me to then buy. Can you see the thinking, right? And so that's what we're trying to do here, all right? So what can I see? What are those points of interest on this relevant move that allow me to then take a buy trade in this example? So there are three types of points of interest you want to really concentrate on, right? So the first one is what I'll call order blocks, right? Order blocks are either demand zones or supply zones, right? The second one, so number one. Number two is what is called imbalance. And I'll show you what all these things look like. Imbalance is also known as fair value gaps, FVGs, right? Second one. And then the third one is what I refer to as sweet spot. So it is on 61.8% to 78.6% of the Fibonacci fibs. I'll talk about this, right? So these are the points of interest you want to notice. Now, like I said before, more details of this will be in my training, and the best way to actually get training for this is the one-to-ones, the VIP. So get on the VIP program. We'll have time spent for you, showing you this on a one-to-one basis. But please just understand what I'm saying here, right? So these are the points of interest I want to be looking out for, right, on the chart, or on a relevant move just before I take my move. Okay, so let's do the first one, order blocks. demand zones, right? So there are three types of demand zones, when it forms, candles form this, you want to look out for, right? So the first one is when you get something that looks like this on the chart, on the relevant move, right? Right? So when you have a bearish candle that is completely engulfed, so in candle pattern language, it is called a bullish engulfing candle. So what that simply means is the body of this completely engulfs the body of this, right? So that's a demand zone. And how do you mark out the demand zone? You've got to take the high of that, bearish candle, mark it out, and then you take the lower of these two lows. In this example here is this one here. You mark it. So you have to follow the entire price, right? And what you want to do, remember that if it's a demand zone, right, it will be like an example of like I drew before, like price would have been coming down like this. And you're looking for that POI at discount area around here. So when you see this kind of candle form here, that's what you're looking for. So what you'd have been waiting for price to do then is price would have gone up, and then it got here, and then it's coming back down. So if you find this kind of candle around here, price would be coming down into it. And when price gets to this point here, you now buy to follow price to the upside, right? So that's what you're looking for. That's one type of a demand zone. The second type of a demand zone is a 3 candle, not 4, not 5, 3 candle setup, right? And in that example, you also have a bearish candle. Then you get a bullish candle, but that bullish candle is not a full bullish engulfing candle. But the next candle, the third candle, completely takes out this high and this high, right? So in this example here of a demand zone, you will have a 3 candle, right? How do you draw that out? You've got to mark the top of that, and you've got to take the lower of these 3 candles, the lowest of these 3 candles. In that example there, it will be this one here. And again, remember, it will be on this bullish move here. That is a relevant move, and you're waiting for it to come back all the way into this place, and you follow it to the upside. So that's the second type of a demand zone, right? So the third type of a demand zone, right, just for the sake of the video so I can get it here. So the third type, so this is number 1, number 2. Now let's draw number 3 here. The third type will be like a situation where we have a bullish candle, then a breather candle, which only stops somewhere of this. Then we now get another one of this, right? Come in here. And you can see this is a bullish engulfing candle, but it's coming from here. It's not coming down like this, but you can still see it on this. So maybe it's on this area here that is going up. You have a bullish candle, then bearish candle, then bullish candle, right? That's the sort of thing you might have there. So you will now get something like this. How do you draw this? You track the high of the bearish candle, the breather candle, and you take the low of this, the lower of these two, which will bring you here. And so once again, price will have to, so this would have gone up, forming this high here, the structure point here. Then when it's coming back in, you would have already seen this. You take that trade and you go up, right? So that is the order block. Three different types of order blocks. I'm going to end this video here so that you can take a breather, right? And I'm going to give you some homework to do for this second video. Then on the third video, I'll carry on with the other side of the other blocks. And so what's the homework? The homework for you is on this page, but you will need to go identify for me on your chart. You can draw it out, you can sketch it, you can show me, you can point it, whatever you want to do. And just show me examples of relevant moves and examples of premium and discount on the chart. And when we come back on the next video, we will now pick up the supply zone, right, from where we stopped on this. Okay, because I think this is getting too long, so you can get a breather as well. Okay, so until the next video, you take care. Cheers.